Hey gang, it's Matt the Old Florida Boy, and we are out today again at our new place, and I'm gonna give you the result of the choice of the site. I gave you 3 or 4 options: site 1, site 2, site 3, and site 3A. And I had an overwhelming response for one particular site. And it wasn't necessarily the site that I picked, but here are the results, and here is where the base camp is going to be. Ready? Drum roll, please. Site number 3A, the Oaks. It's and that's where I'm standing right now, and the site is just too good to not do something in. I wanted actually site number 1, which was the Pines, and only because I like to set up a lot of tarps and a lot of ridge lines. You know, I'll even use the ridge line to set it up with my Trekker outdoor products, Trekker 1A tent, river country products, not outdoor country products. I like using ridge lines for tents and tarps. And site number 1, the Pine site, that's all it was pines, and they're perfect distance apart, and they're perfectly situated. Man, you could do tons of things, tons of shelters, and tons of different types of tarp setups and ridgeline setups. But I'm going to show you that I'm pretty sure I can do the same thing at the Oak site. I'm not going to abandon the Pine site because it's only a few hundred yards to the north, and I decided to kind of develop both of them and use both of them for different reasons. But the main base camp is going to be at site 3A, the Oaks, because this oak canopy is just gorgeous. Now, let me show you the really good things and the reason why I selected this site for the primary base camp. Okay, let me show you what I'm working with again at the Oak site. This big oak canopy and these nice trees. Those are pretty nice oak trees, kind of close together, but this one oak tree to the left, along with this oak tree, that's about 8 steps apart. And I can come back and get them all in the picture. That's about 8 steps apart, and that would be an absolutely perfect area for a ridgeline and to do all of my ridgeline work. And as I was saying before, we're in the middle of this oak hammock, so the ground is completely flat. There's just some little stuff that's going to be campfire wood, but the ground is completely flat. It's nothing but oak leaves. That is the swamp in the background. I almost said the name of it, so you would know where I was. That is the swamp in the background, and I am nowhere near my backyard, guys. There's another couple of trees. That one's about 10 or 12 paces, but you could also do a ridge line over there. There's just so many possibilities with this site, and it's nice and flat. The canopy of trees is just unbelievable here. You know, in the summer I'm gonna get a lot of shade. It's gonna block some of the rain unless it's really hard rain. It's a nice flat field over there. If I really want to bring a chair or make a chair and do a fire pit, I got a nice flat field, and it's nice and open in the top. But what I'm really excited about is, look at this gigantic oak tree in front of me. And that is, I don't know whether this is one tree or several, but there's this one big oak that's kind of split into 2 right there, and it's got a third one coming up after it. But look at these coming out of the ground here, and these are trees. I mean, the branches come out and go up, and the branches come out of this side and go around. But look at this one in particular. It comes out of the ground right here and goes kind of angled up, and then it goes across, and this thing goes out for all this way, and I'm out right now at the end of it, and I got to be 30 feet away from this big tree. So what kind of ideas does it give you, as it gave me, when I was looking at this the first time, we already have a wall and we already have a main roof beam. All I got to do is go over here, find a pine log, jam it under here, and this is a live tree. I mean, it's not going to move. It's not like I would be putting a log or a shelter under a deadfall. So that's kind of what I'm thinking. To start making a shelter, you know, I could use that one. This one's a little bit higher, so I don't think that one's as good. But this is probably about, and I'm 5'8", so this is probably about 6.5 feet off the ground. And I'm thinking that's gonna be perfect for a camp and the main area of the roof. So hold on a second, let me show you this. All right, so like I was saying, this is about 6.5 feet high or so, and this would just be absolutely perfect. I could face the shelter this way, or I could face it this way. I'm kind of thinking of putting the back of the shelter that way. So I would put some kind of, I would put a pole over here, jam it under this tree, and it would kind of hold up the tree. And then I could build the roof back this way. So a couple little palmettos there, but that's not a consideration. But I could build a nice shelter about this far back. And I don't really know what kind of shelter to build, because I never really built a shelter like this before. You know, when we were all kids, we all built like forts in the woods and stuff like that. And when I used to hunt, I built like ground blinds, turkey blinds, you know, deer stands, tree stands, all that kind of stuff. But I never built a survival shelter, something that could keep the rain off me, the wind off me, something that I could build a fire pit. You know, I could put a nice fire pit right out here in the front of it, and we got plenty of canopy, so none of the embers or anything are going to go up. But that's where I need your help, because I've never built a survival shelter before, and I'm kind of going to take it one step at a time. So any suggestions that anybody can give me on how to make this into a great survival area, just drop your suggestion in the comments below. Include pictures, give me some ideas. I'm open to suggestions on this. I'm going to try to make it out of all natural materials that are out here, because there's just a gigantic amount of natural resources out here. There's downed trees, there's all kinds of stuff. I don't think I'm going to have to cut maybe 1 or 2 live trees for anything on this, and I think it'll come out really, really good. So here we go. This, it kind of looks like the arches. It kind of looks like the arches, which I thought was a really, really cool place. I just don't know how much better I could possibly ask for than this gigantic tree. All I gotta do is prop one side up and put another shelter on it. So please, if you have some suggestions on what you think I should do on this, please drop it in the comments below. Like I said, add pictures if you want to. Give me suggestions on how you think that I should build this, because this is your channel. I'm just the guy going out in the woods. Okay, this is the site selection that I'm choosing. It's site number 3A, the Oaks. I'm not going to abandon the pine site, but I can do virtually anything that I need to do here. So once again, talking to you from the new Basecamp site. This is Matt, the old Florida boy, and I'll see you on the trail.